Hi, yogis. Welcome to Sunday Sutras, your weekly dose of yogic wisdom. This is Cooper. Today's topic is how your beliefs lead to behavior and what you can do to create the life your heart desires. Welcome, Liz. As you sign in, yogis, please share with the group one word to describe how you're feeling. So my word is content. Please go ahead and share just one word, no right or wrong, how you're feeling. I'm Kelsey Delane. I'm here to serve and support. As a yoga mentor and Reiki master, I coach yogis and yoga teachers on how to implement the practical wisdom of yoga into their daily life. I'm so glad that you're here. It tells me that you are committed to personal growth, and I cheers to that, because this practice of yoga, the truth is, it's not for the faint of heart. This is a practice that requires honesty and courage. So congratulate yourself for showing up today and investing in you. Today we will talk about belief structures and how that leads to our behaviors, and how we can shine light on those belief structures so that we can get at what kind of behaviors are going to support us in creating more sustained joy, because that's what this practice is. And as you log in, hey Nicole, and share your one word, I want to tell you a story about a conversation I had with my daughter Thea yesterday. Thea's 8.5 and has become really expressive lately. When we're driving in the car, she loves to chat. And she said to me yesterday, you know, I know it's not good, but I love telling you all about why I don't like Mrs. Huff. Mrs. Huff is her teacher. And so she shares about all the things that Mrs. Huff does that she doesn't appreciate. She thinks that Mrs. Huff is boring. She thinks that she's too strict, and that Thea would do a better job teaching her class than Mrs. Huff does. So I let her express herself, and then I asked her, what does it make you feel when you share about all the things that Mrs. Huff does that you don't like? And she said, I feel like I want to be a teacher right now so I can be a better teacher. I said, okay, well, what does that feel like? She says, it makes me feel bad for all my friends in class. I said, okay, what does that bad feeling feel like? What does it have a name? What is that bad feeling? Is it sad? Is it angry? And she said, I feel angry and sad and disappointed. I said, okay. Where is that in your body? And she said, it's in my heart. Okay. Does it have a color? Yeah, it's red. And is it heavy? Is it light? Is it something else? And she said, it's heavy. I said, okay. So when you think about Mrs. Huff, you feel red heaviness in your heart. And she said, yeah. I said, okay. What would you like to feel? She said, I would like to feel like Mrs. Huff was a good teacher. And I said, well, those are thoughts. So what would you like to feel in your body? Do you want to feel red, heavy in your heart? And she said, no, I want to feel happy. I said, okay, what kinds of thoughts make you feel happy? And she said, Mrs. Baral, her second grade teacher. So we started to talk about what Mrs. Baral did that she really appreciated. And then I asked her what she could do in her classroom to suggest or ask questions about things that they could do that were more like Mrs. Baral. So my attempt as a mom with an 8.5-year-old was to help her, whether she was conscious of it or not, distinguish between the thoughts that she was having about the experience, which were really aggravating her, and the feelings that she was feeling. Because the truth is, our behavior is an outcry of our thoughts, and our thoughts are a story that we tell ourselves about our feelings. Okay, so our behaviors grow out of our thoughts. Our thoughts are the story that we tell ourselves about our feelings, and our beliefs live under that. Our beliefs are the soil in which the roots from which our thought patterns grow, because they're the stories we've told ourselves for so long that we see the world through that lens. Our beliefs are all based in the past. So in having a conversation with Thea about this frustration, my hope is that I can help her distinguish between what she's actually feeling in her body and the thoughts that are disturbing her. Do I expect my 8.5-year-old to get that? Do I expect her to behave like an adult? Absolutely not. But it's my hope that in giving her opportunity to sink into her body and feel the feelings, that as she develops her beliefs, she can include some beliefs that empower her to feel. All right, so welcome to those of you that have joined. Hey, Stevie, I hope you stay. Sharing what you currently feel right now in the comments, that will help me speak to what's going on with you. And I share that story about Thea because a lot of times we ask each other how we're doing, and we say things like busy. And it's an interesting thing that we're not really in touch with the experience that we're having in more of an embodied way. So I hope in today's discussion to help you separate the experience that you're having and the story that you're telling yourself about the experience, because that is where the suffering or the joy arises. And if you have a particular behavior, especially in this new year, that you hope to address, unless you're willing to go to the feeling and the beliefs about the feeling, the story you're telling yourself, then the behavior will continue. A yogi is someone who is able to distinguish that the mind is not the master. Chitta is your deep mind. And chitta is what holds vasanas. Vasanas are the belief structures, the underlying subliminal tendencies that exist in the mind that serve as a filter for our experiences, for our emotions, and they produce the thought patterns that we have. So vasanas, this chitta, this deep-seated mind, our psyche, is where these beliefs live. And because they're subconscious, oftentimes we need to get at them through other avenues, because it's not always readily available to get right to your subconscious. So you may be unaware of what beliefs you hold that lead to the stories you tell yourself about your feelings and experiences. Come here, Koopy. Koopy needs love all the time. So he wants to be pet and hugged on, just like me, just like all of us. So in order to change the behavior, you have to be willing to be honest with yourself. That's why I say that this practice, this lifestyle of being a yogi is not for people who want an easy way out. Cooper is super cute. Thanks, Liz. Yoga is not for people who want the easy way out. Yoga is for the courageous of heart, those that are willing to do the work to get to the other side. Yoga is not about feeling good. Yoga is about sustained joy. And sometimes to get to sustained joy, the actions that we need to take don't feel good in the moment, but what they result in is an ability to move through life with ease in the body and peace in the mind because of your willingness to open up to all experiences, not just the feel-good ones. So that's why I'm so excited for you to be here and be watching this video, is because to me it says that you at least have the willingness. If you, friends, enjoy watching these videos, please hit the like button and share with your friends on your page or by word of mouth, because the bottom line is the more that you engage with this video through commenting and liking and sharing, the more eyes are going to see this video. And the reason that I show up is because I know that living the life of a yogi is not easy. And I want to be supported in my attempts to be honest with myself, to do the work of better understanding my beliefs and how they impact my behavior, so I can stop spinning in circles doing the same thing expecting a different result, which is insanity. Instead, I want a community. I want to be held accountable, and I want others to give me perspective on my experience. That's why I show up every Sunday for you, is to provide that community for each other. So the more that we engage and interface, the more that people will see this video, the more of us yogis that will be supported in this courageous path, and the more likely we are to keep on the path. So thank you for sharing. Hey, Hannah, hope you can join for a little while. And my invitation to you is to be willing to acknowledge, to be willing to entertain the thought that you co-create your experience, that life doesn't happen to you, but events happen, you get to respond, and that equals the outcome. Events plus response equals outcome. So you can't control the events, and you can't control the outcome, but you can control your response. And part of that response is your willingness to take a look at the story that you tell yourself in your mind. You can be the hero of your life. If you want to hold on to beliefs that are comfortable for you, because that feels better than the fear of stepping into the unknown, then you get to continue to spin in the pattern that those beliefs have led you to. Or you can make a conscious choice to do things differently. And that's the path of yoga. It's contrary action aimed at refinement. I love when Dr. Phil asks people when they're complaining about their circumstances, I don't feel good in my body. I don't feel this. My partner doesn't support me. I always hit roadblocks at work, whatever story you're telling yourself. And he asks, how's that working for you? How's it working for you to believe that you're unattractive and no one will love you? Because your belief, your choice to hold on to that belief is you are in control of whether or not you want to hold on to that belief or you want to let it go. It's not easy, but it's worth it. So, hi Isa, hi Yuki. I hope you guys can stay. So in getting down to the nitty-gritty of our beliefs, because the behaviors result from the thoughts result from the story we tell ourselves about what we're feeling, and underneath all of that is our belief structure. In order to get there, we got to start at the top and look at our choices. So you can tell a lot about what you believe by how you spend your time, how you spend your money, and the food that you consume. So if you want to know what you believe about life, about yourself, about other people, ask yourself honestly, how do I spend my time? How do I spend my money? And how do I feed my body? And if you're honest with yourself, then you'll start to see some values and some beliefs unfold. So if you spend your time working, you're a workaholic, and you devote more than 40 hours a week to work, and you sometimes neglect your own needs or maybe the needs of the people that you love, your friends, your family, and you prioritize work over that, then you believe that work will bring you more sustainable joy. Work is more of a priority than your needs, than the needs of the people around you. So work is more important than relationships. Work is more important than me. So you can start to see how these beliefs show themselves in your choices. And the ultimate belief that causes suffering from a yogic perspective, according to the Yoga Sutras, the biggest misconception, the belief structure that will cause you the most frustration, is if you believe that you are your mind. It can be tricky to dissect this part, but you are not your mind. You're the thinker of your thoughts, but you aren't the thoughts. You're the one who observes, you're the one who notices, you're the witness, right? There's a lot of Eckhart Tolle, a lot of teachers call this thing the seer, the observer, the witness, the soul, whatever word you want to use for what you are, it's not your mind. So whatever word you want to use, there is space between who you are and what happens in your mind. And the sooner that you recognize that and own that and catch yourself believing that you are your thoughts, the sooner that you will have freedom. Freedom to co-create by saying, there's that interesting belief where I think because I have a thought, it is true. Or I believe that emotions are so scary, I'd rather eat and distract myself with food than feel my feelings. Or being alone is too painful, so I'd rather be in a relationship with someone who mistreats me because I believe that that's all I'm worth. So this is the serious business of getting down to what foundation you have built your life on top of. I promise you, if your life is full of joy, you have belief systems that support that. If you are experiencing inordinate amounts of suffering, not in the events of your life, I'm talking about on the inside, because we can't control events. So tragedy and grief are different than suffering that I'm talking about. The suffering I'm talking about is on the inside, and it's not based on the events of your life. So if you currently experience chronic frustration and that spinning wheel feeling in your mind, and it's hard to feel content in your body or at peace in your mind or at ease in your relationships, then I guarantee that the beliefs that you are standing on, the beliefs that give birth to your thoughts and to your behaviors, are the root of your suffering. And if you want to get to them, you have to be willing to take an honest inventory of how you use your time, how you spend your money, how you feed your body, and you will get a lot of clues if you open your mind and your eyes and your heart to see what that says about what you believe. So the next time that you experience something uncomfortable, like Thea being incredibly angry and frustrated about her situation at school. Okay, so the next time you're frustrated with your kids, you feel uncomfortable in your body, you are angry with your boss, whatever little rub you feel, it's like the sand, that sand in the oyster feeling, that rub, that discomfort, that is the green light. That means pay attention. So once you feel that rub, turn on your ears, your eyes, open up your heart and your mind, and turn your attention right there to the discomfort. So when you pay attention to the discomfort, then ask yourself, what is it that I am feeling? Okay, so we're looking at sensation at this point. What am I feeling in my body? Where is it in my body? Does it have a color, a texture, a sound, a vibration? Is there pulsing? Is there softness? Is there heaviness? Is there lightness? Describe this feeling as specifically as you can in the location that it is in your body. And then ask yourself to sit with that. So an example could be when I start to experience self-criticism, I feel in this pit of my stomach, it's really my solar plexus, right? I feel it's like butterflies, but like gray, sad butterflies floating around in my solar plexus. And it's black and gray, and it's chaotic, it's blurred, and it's heavy. It's heavy and it flutters. And the more that I go into that and I just experience the feeling itself, then all of a sudden I can disconnect from the story I'm telling myself about the feeling and start to instead just embody the feeling and let it be digested. If we run away from, push aside, ignore, act like the feelings aren't present, or try to cover them up, mask them, distract ourselves from them through busyness, relationships, exercise, food, sex, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is that you want to try to mask or run away from, those feelings, they will persist. What you resist persists. So if you resist feeling sad because you have a story in your mind that being sad means you're weak, and weak people are undeserving of love, whatever these stories that you have, if you're unwilling to address them at the root, which is the sensation as it shows up in your body, then you'll chronically play out this same story over and over. And the truth is, here's the truth. You're already feeling it. I had a really, really dear friend express to me yesterday in a text message a really hard truth that she realized. She realized a really hard truth about what she was feeling, and she shared it with me. And I congratulated her for the courage to share that really uncomfortable feeling with me and acknowledge that it was there. And her response to my congratulations was, yeah, but it's really sad. It sucks. And I said, but the truth is, you've been feeling this. So ignoring it doesn't make it go away. The opposite. Ignoring it makes it last and last and last and last. And the truth is, you're feeling it anyway. It's present anyway. So if you're angry with your spouse, you're going to continue to be angry with your spouse until you sit with the anger. You embrace it. You notice it. Fear isn't the enemy. Anger isn't the enemy. Sadness isn't the enemy. And I'll tell you, if you are pushing those feelings away, especially if you think, I shouldn't feel angry, I shouldn't be jealous, I shouldn't XYZ, I want to be positive, rainbows and butterflies, and isn't life just about being positive and you co-create your reality? BS. That is trying to use spirituality to transcend the reality of being human rather than deal with and process the reality of being human. So if you notice that you want to push that away, you want to cover it up, you want to say, oh, I'm just not going to focus on that, because when I focus on that, it makes me feel bad. So I'm just going to focus on something else. You have a belief that sounds something like, it is too scary to feel feelings. Or feelings are less important than XYZ. So whatever you are doing in response to your feelings tells you what you believe about feelings. And I'm here to encourage you that you're strong enough to feel the feelings because they're already there. You're already living your life with the feelings under the surface. So you're strong enough to address them head on, to take a good long look at them. I know this sounds super, super cheesy, but the truth is I envision myself embracing the feelings. So if I have fear, then I envision myself embracing the fear. If I have sadness, I embrace the sadness. And it might sound just like super cheesy and hippy dippy, but the thing is, I have learned to be comfortable with my feelings. So if doing cheesy hippy dippy stuff gets me comfortable with my feelings, then right on. And my hope as a mom, my hope as a yoga teacher, my hope as a friend and a lover is to encourage other people to trust their own strength in their willingness to feel their feelings. And I hope that you use the support that's in this community. You use my belief in you. I have Shraddha. I have faith in your ability to sit with your feelings. And I would love to hear from you, whether it's in a group setting or in a direct message, or give me a call, send me an email. Let me know what kind of feelings that you've given yourself permission to sit with, and what you're starting to learn about your vasanas, your deeply held beliefs, the underlying tendencies that exist in your mind. And if you do these things, you are on the road to separating who you are from the thoughts that you have, who you are from the feelings that are present, who you are from your body, right? You are Purusha. According to the Yoga Sutras, you are an unchanging, radiant light of consciousness. And your body, your mind, they serve Purusha. They serve who you are, but they aren't who you are. And the sooner that you disentangle those two things, Purusha, who you are, and Prakriti, everything else, then you will be closer to living a life that your heart really desires, where you're making choices not from chitta, not from the deep-seated mind that holds on to all these old beliefs and conditioning that you learn from your parents, you learn from your friends, from your older sister telling you, shut up, you're annoying. Those live in the mind, and you don't have to operate from them. You don't have to keep telling the same story and making the same choices and running in circles. So if there's a behavior you want to change, if there's a new life that you want to create, only when you're willing to be honest with yourself about the stories that you're telling, to sit with the sensations, the feelings in your body, to recognize and embrace them, to learn what stories you're telling yourself about them, that's only when you will be able to create these sustainable changes. Thanks so much for joining me, yogis. I want this to be clear, digestible, relatable. So if you have feedback for me, if you have questions for me, if you have topics that you want me to address, please either put it here in the comments, send me a direct message, shoot me an email, whatever way you want to reach out, I am available for you. Because it is my heart's desire to show up in a way where I'm being courageous alongside of you so we can inspire each other to keep up the good work. This is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about waking up in every moment of every day, remembering that you have a choice to co-create your experience through the choices that you make, through the thoughts that you hold on to or let go of, through the beliefs that you hold on to or let go of. And I am so grateful that I don't have to do this alone. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next Sunday at 11 a.m. Have a beautiful rest of your Sunday.